EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present opening round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational.
This is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. And who knows? It is a 4-round tournament, setting himself up for a good weekend, maybe a great one. Young star makes his birdie. From a par 3 to a par 5 here at the 12th. It measures 560 yards, a sweeping dogleg left, and there is some trouble down that left side.
This is a scary tee shot. There's no two ways about it, Rich. You've got to get the ball in play because you can really rack up a good score here. That water very much in play. Doesn't matter what club you decide to hit off the tee. 560 yards actually is reachable, believe it or not. But you've got to get it on the fairway. You don't really have to be too brave and try and take too much over there. The other thing, too, to consider about is this green is nearly half the length of an NFL football field. It's 55 yards from the front of this green to the back of the green.
How'd you like that strike?
That was top of the tree.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. You have to like that. Ooh, under. Our featured golfer has made it to the 13th hole. Let's pick up the action right there. Frank, our featured player, putting together an excellent round so far.
When you look at the score at the end of the week, Rich, this round actually just might make his tournament.
Oh my goodness, that is on in one. Wow, what an incredible shot. Frank, how rare would this be if this putt drops?
Well, this is I'd like to say once in a lifetime, but on the odd occasion we do see back-to-back eagles, but it certainly is something to watch.
Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus.
Well, just when you thought they might pick up one, settle for a par.
Good solid work right there, and stays at 4 under. Frank, describe the layout here at the 14th hole. It's 444 yards, and what a beautiful hole.
It is, and it's a beautiful view. You see everything from the top of that tee there. It's a hole that keeps bending to the left. There's enough bunkers down the left there to actually take your eye. That's where you've got to fixate on something in the distance that's a much better line than worrying about that wall of sand down the left side.
Well, the tee shot has landed in the bunker. All right, Frank, second shot.
Yeah, it looks like a good lie. Just take maybe half a club more than the distance allows. Still got to check the wind. Don't have to fly the ball all the way to the flag from here.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Another one inside of 5 feet. Just 5 feet left. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Bad news is, Frank, that's a bogey, but the good news, still has the lead.
Don't afford another, though.
Now to the short par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. What is this, Frank? Just a wedge or a 9-iron?
That's all, Rich, but it's very tempting to get greedy here. And, well, you pay the price, obviously, if you miss the green on the left down in those bunkers because they're a good 6-7 feet below the level of the green. But with a wedge or a 9-iron, who doesn't go aiming at the flag?
On the green in regulation. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Missed on that one, Frank.
Yeah, not a problem.
For par. Par here's fine, isn't it, Frank? Well, Frank, round one in the books. Look who's on top of the leaderboard.
And that's with some strong play today. They don't really need to look back. Strong play heading into the second round tomorrow.
EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present second round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Like the looks of this one.
Oh, yeah.
He just blasted that one down the fairway, out there about 325 yards. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
This is a good-looking shot. What a nice shot. Right on the green and a pretty easy putt on the way. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. Racking them and stacking them right now. 6 under par for the tournament. On to the 11th hole, we're looking downhill, 215 yards to the green.
And this is one of the holes that you realize you're at Wolf Creek. You would never see this hole anywhere else in the world. It's amazing when you stand on this tee. You see all of the canyons around, but there is a little green area down there surrounded by a couple of bunkers. It's a great-looking par 3. It measures 215 yards. Very playable. And you never know, today might be the day where you make birdie.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
That's how you maintain momentum. Make those putts for par. Par 5, 12th, and Frank, another reminder that Wolf Creek can really be intimidating.
It can. Water down the left. They'll take a huge dent off your scorecard. A lot of fairway down the right. Somehow find that. This par 5 can be reachable in 2. There's still trouble to the right of this green if you get a little bit cavalier. This, without doubt, the longest green on the golf course. It's 55 yards from front to back.
Well, he pays a price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. You need a bit of force to extract one out of there. Our computer gives us 23 feet, Rich.
So this is the third shot to the par 5. Close. Couldn't ask for much more on that putt. Not a gimme, but well within his range. That was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Just a little tap in here. Right in the heart. 13th hole here at Wolf Creek, and Frank, anyone can say, oh, I'm going to take this one over the trees, but very few can stand up and say, I'm flying this baby clear over the mountains.
Yeah, if you take the direct route, obviously it's going to be much shorter than the 350 yards that it's measured as a dogleg right. So the direct line, I don't want to tell you the exact yardage because it might give you too much of a clue, but it might be worth taking. It's going to be a blind tee shot, though, and you're not quite sure on the outcome.
21 feet from pay dirt. Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
Cleans that up in the hole. Now to the 14th hole, and Frank, this is probably the best par 4 here at Wolf Creek.
Well, it's certainly the hole that they take the most photographs on, Rich, and you can see why. Great vantage point of the whole golf course. The hole's just sort of littered with bunkers down the left side, so you know where not to go once again. Go to the right side of that. Hole just keeps sort of hooking around that left side. It plays under 450 yards. It's fun. Just sort of draw it a little off the tee, draw it a little into the ground, and you'll be fine.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. That was not a very good read right there. Getting set now over the putt.
Good read, good line, well played.
So all the scores have been posted for round number 2, and look who is on top of the leaderboard, Frank.
Yeah, with 2 very solid rounds of golf. Key right now, just stay out of your own way and keep it up. The pressure will start to build. We know that as you get closer to the end of this tournament.
EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present third round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Players aren't just grabbing any old golf club these days, Frank. It's about spin rate and launch angle and all of those sorts of concepts.
Yeah, and the grooves, all those things help the player. Even the loft on wedges now. Loft is increased. We now see 64, 65-degree sand irons, so they get the ball up quicker and it stops quicker.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Now the approach here at the fourth, Frank.
Just a short iron really is all that's required across this green. You can see it has a raised front, but this is more like trying to parachute a shot onto the green there. And should really be looking at a birdie opportunity there. Not much wind. Remember, you're playing in the thin air, so just judging that distance.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Just a little too much juice on that birdie putt, Frank.
It was bold, very bold. Even par currently.
Drops for a par. We're in the desert, partner. I need water.
You're going to get it here, Rich. Par 5 second hole's got a nice stream that runs down the left side, as well as cutting the fairway. There's a crop of some 3 bunkers down that right side. I want to avoid that, but, Rich, this hole isn't too long. Under 500 yards, not even going to play that long, so very reachable.
Frank, you've played all over the world in different conditions. How much did you enjoy desert golf?
Rich, once I got to understand elevation changes and obviously the thinner air that the desert golf provides, then it became really enjoyable. But at first, it's just getting used to how far that ball flies. And I'm not just talking with the driver, I'm talking more about the scoring clubs. Once you get over that hurdle, then it's a great experience.
Excellent looking shot here.
I tell you, there's long and long. And that, with a little bit of breeze behind, it's long.
He rode the wind there to payday. He's going to have a good look coming up. should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Big swing right there, and a great result. And now a chance for a big swing in momentum with an eagle coming up. And getting ready for the putt. Really hitting on all cylinders now. 9 under for the tournament. Frank, standing on the 6th tee and looking out at this golf course, I can't help but think that if you hit it offline here, you're going to be playing golf with the billy goats.
Yeah, you might actually turn into a billy goat come the end of the day, that's for sure. The huge elevation changes, once again, are apparent here at the 6th. 'Tis a dogleg to the right, not really a driver unless you want to sort of bring that creek into play or that little stream that cuts across. Second shot, a little bit uphill. Those bunkers are really where you shouldn't go. We all know that. And this green is anything other than flat. A fun-looking hole, too, and a fun hole to play.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
So a tester from 4 feet. Just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good putts.
So just a formality here. Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Well, everybody loves the short par 4, and here we have one, Frank, just 302 yards, the 7th hole.
And this hole is anything other than straightforward, Rich. Huge drop off at the front of the screen that is surrounded by water. So it's going to be a layup off the tee, really, to try and get the right yardage. This green is very, it's not very deep, but it's extremely wide. The hardest thing is to try and get a flat lie with whatever club you decide to hit off the tee and get the right yardage. Otherwise, that green actually might be a little elusive, even though this is a very short hole.
This has been a tee to green clinic. Absolutely perfect. Everything coming off the center of the club face and everything in regulation. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday.
Well, that was a tricky one, but it's in.
Frank, the 8th here at Wolf Creek in Mesquite, Nevada is really the signature par 3, isn't it?
I'd go so far, Rich, to say this is a great par 3. Doesn't matter where it was played. The stream that sort of comes all the way down there and surrounds the left side of the screen makes this hole really daunting. Logic would say if you're going to miss the screen, obviously you'd miss it to the right, but it's just a beautiful hole. And then you put the fact that the canyon frames the whole hole itself. It's beautiful.
Good news is, was able to retrieve the golf ball.
Yeah, on dry land, and can he carry it this time, though?
Third shot now, after the last one found the deep blue.
Yeah, you can still minimize the damage here. It's only one bad shot that you got punished for.
Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Can't make it, Frank, if you don't hit it.
Hubert Green once said, 99% of putts left short don't go in. I don't know what happened to the other 1%, but...
Has it. Frank, the par 3/8 really is Wolf Creek in a nutshell. It's hard, and it's really pretty.
It is, and it's really long, too. Just under 250 yards off that back tee. Slight bit of elevation, but you can see from the tee, obviously, where you don't want to go and where you do go. If you're a little, tender of heart, then aim for the right side and avoid all that water down the left.
EA Sports and the Wolf Creek Golf Club so proudly present final round coverage of the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Well, this is one of my favorite tournaments of the year. It's the EA Sports Spring Invitational, and just a stunning golf course. It's Wolf Creek in Mesquite, Nevada. Hello again and welcome. Rich Slaughter alongside Frank Nobilo. And Frank, we're in for quite a day.
We are. We're going to see the decision-making processes of some of the fine players out there today. And the reason why I say that, Rich, is because there's so much elevation here at Wolf Creek. So you're going to have to make those adjustments on the downhill and the uphill. Club selection decisions. And, of course, the one that does that the best is more than likely the one that's going to come out on top. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Par yesterday. Now for birdie. Really starting to shine, moves to 10 under for the tournament. We're here at the downhill par 3 11th hole. Frank hits 215 yards from the back tee.
This hole certainly is not for the faint of heart. When you look at that tee shot, you think, oh my God, what do I do from here? But remind yourself, it's 215 yards and really only about 160, 170 yards to green grass again. But it's 215 yards. That should be the club that you're trying to pick. Green's big enough, just persuade yourself. Try not to look at the canyon in the desert. There is a green down there. The hole is playable. Rich, that just adds insult to injury to the rest of the field. Another birdie and the gap even wider.
A sensational performance.
Ah, nice.
Looks good. That was just a beautiful drive and hit it solid and right in the middle. Second shot, good look at the green. Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Settles in over the putt. How does that stay out?
I have no earthly idea. Let's crawl that. Hole's round. Ball's meant to go in.
You'll love them, the birdies, and that's another one. Now to the 13th hole, and, well, I don't know, should we just fly it over the mountains, Frank?
It looks like that, but then you better find dry land. 350 yards, but as the crow flies, it's probably just a little over 300 yards. I don't know if the mere mortals would really want to flash it across that desert ridge. You probably want to play a little left of it, have a little pitch up the hill. But if you're one of the longer hitters, why not just try it, see if you can make it?
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Pretty good stroke right there, just to hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Wow, I thought he made that. Can't make them all. That one gets away. Seems to really have the touch today. Frank, describe the layout here at the 14th hole. It's 444 yards. What a beautiful hole.
It is, and it's a beautiful view. You see everything from the top of that tee there. It's a hole that keeps bending to the left. There's enough bunkers down the left there to actually take your eye. That's why you've got to fixate on something in the distance that's a much better line than worrying about that wall of sand down the left side. Rich, that tee shot there has shortened up this hole considerably. It's made a tough par 4 into, well, we'll see, but it looks like a very birdieable hole now.
Hit it right where you want. Now he has a good chance to attack that hole location. Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it's going to hurt the course.
Now to the par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. Frank, this is the shortest hole on the course.
And their version of a postage stamp type hole, minus the bunkers on the right side. Green elevated, falls off as you can see down the left side. Club selection is vital, but it is such a short hole. It's very, very tempting, especially when that flag's on the left side, to still go at it. But you miss this green on the left, and you are going to be considerably lower than the level of this green.
Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Getting set now over the putt. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts.
In this situation, Rich, a bogey's not all that bad. Still has the lead.
Now to the 16th hole as we get set for the finishing stretch. And Frank, what's the best way to play this relatively short par 4?
Somehow you've got to straighten the hole up in your mind's eye, Rich. Just look all the way across that canyon and look like the hole was built straight, because really that's the way it should be played. If you start looking left and turning it into a dog leg, then all of a sudden bad things can happen. So look straight at the green. That's your line. Just try and bisect those two fairway bunkers.
Just blasted that tee ball, Frank. Now the approach shot here at 16, Frank, it is all about precision.
It certainly is. This green has a lot of contours in it, so it's very hard to get a dead straight or a flat putt here at 16. Second shot's not overly long, though, just a short on in. You should be looking at a birdie opportunity, but really you don't want to stray too far away from 15 or 20 feet. Otherwise, it's going to get very difficult putting on this green.
Racking them and stacking them. That's 12 under par now for the tournament. Frank, you licking your chops here at the par 5 17th hole?
Oh, why not? A chance to reach a par 5 and 2, but there's still pitfalls in front of you. A little creek or stream runs across the fairway, so really limiting the distance you can hit that tee shot, but it's still reachable from just short of that creek. Find trouble off the tee, then obviously you turn it into a 3-shotter, but a good tee shot, and it's too tempting to resist not going for this green.
Frank, you've just hit one out of bounds. What's the way to approach this next shot?
Try and get the steam out of your ears for a start.
So playing the third shot right now after having gone OB.
Should be safely on deck. I mean, this skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Now the closing hole here at Wolf Creek. Frank, what's ahead of us?
You could try and drive at this green, but there's too much trouble, really, Rich. Even though this hole's just over 300 yards, it's very ambitious to try and drive across that water. Some might try. Most people try and hit a tee shot 240, 250 yard mark, and of course you do the maths, you're only going to have 60 or 70 yards in, and well, they want you to finish on a good note. So a good drive in the fairway here, or 3-wood, pitch it on the green, make a 3, and buy your friends a drink in the clubhouse.
Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. Oh, I thought he had that.
Just when you thought they might pick up one, now settle for a par.
This for the victory at the EA Sports Spring Invitational. Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Just a fantastic week of golf. Add that one to the win count.
A lot of great quality players out there, and to come on top of that leaderboard is truly a great accomplishment.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Boston Championship.
Oh, I liked that.
Can't ask for much more here at the 7th. He has hit a good one.
Second shot.
Frank, this one's offline.
There's rough and thick stuff over there.
You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish. But, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. Locked in on the read and the speed. After that birdie, we have a brand new leader on top of this leaderboard.
Deservedly so.
Frank, looking at the 8th, par 3 of 213 yards, obviously short, is trouble.
Yeah, that's where it's narrow. Ideally, you want to fly that ball more, sort of at least 10 or 12 yards onto this green, where it starts to widen up. Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
What a great shot. Right next to the hole. It's about 5 feet. Watches that one go in as well to get to -3 for the championship. Hole number 9, Frank, 472 yards. Good par 4.
Yeah, if you blink, it'll catch you.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Impressive play so far into these heavy winds. You could say he's just been breezing through this round. That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look. These putts keep the round together. Good putt and a good move. Now to 4 under. Rich Thorner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports on a gorgeous New England afternoon. It's fall, the leaves are changing, and maybe the fortunes will change as players get set for the 10th hole.
Yeah, good par 4, relatively straight. No fairway bunkers really in play. Got to be careful with the second shot, though. That water does come into play on the left side. That's beyond long.
That is a sensational play right there, and you have to think that a little helping breeze gave that a nice boost.
It can't be that good.
You're now the second shot, 100 yards away. Early part of this second nine, a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie. This will be a 14-foot putt here. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
So just a formality here. Showing no signs of weakness. That's a good putt right there. Stays at 4 under. Frank, like all TPC golf courses, TPC Boston has the fan in mind. So you see those mounds throughout the golf course that gives people a chance to just sit, relax, and watch some golf. And there's a nice shady spot on the hill behind the 11.
Yeah, that's just before the 12th tee. And you really do get a look at the tee shots coming in 11, as well as the little undulations and contours on that massive green.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Kind of a tricky read. Just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good putts.
Not what he had in mind when he stepped to the tee, but bad news is that's a bogey. The good news, still tied for the lead.
Yeah, he's the only one disappointed. The rest of the field aren't. He made it a real cat fight.
Now at the 461-yard par 4 12th, how do you play it, Frank?
Well, hit 2 of your best here. Somehow find the fairway, and then you take anything on the green here. You see a lot of sixes here over the years. Oh, beautiful swing, and the result is every bit as good.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Second shot. Good look at the green. Good swing. Good shot yet again. That's well played. Places it about 10 feet out for birdie. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie. Frank, you surprised to see that name on top of the leaderboard?
I am surprised to see the name, but not that style of golf leading. It was great performance, especially tee to green. You don't often see people start that quickly.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Boston Championship. This is a pretty sizable par 5 here, Frank, the 7th.
But it's reachable. There's some mounds down there. If you keep it down the right side, hopefully that tee shot can kick it a little forward. And then that green, angled at about 45 degrees, very reachable.
Oh, this looks good.
Certainly is.
Well, it is nice to have that one in your bag, to be able to hit it that long.
Yeah, that has to be at least 315 yards.
Setting up for an approach shot here.
Rich, these players aren't getting a reprieve with the win right now.
Right from the start, the winds have been kicking pretty good.
Yeah, but at least it's presenting that challenge for the players they don't get every other day.
And this will test the player. I mean, it's one thing to play with no wind and perfect conditions, but as we know, golf is a game of variables.
Yeah, and better strike will be rewarded today.
Really in control of this hole. Birdie yesterday and another opportunity on the way. Birdie try again here today. Beautifully done. Nice birdie. Frank, I don't know about you, but I love a good hot dog and a soda at the turn. Of course, it tastes a lot better after you've made par. How difficult is that proposition here at the 9th?
Well, if you stray with your tee shot here, you'll be making hamburgers, that's for sure.
Well, that sets up well for a chance at the green here at the 9th. Frank, here at the 9th, what are most players trying to do?
Well, you really have to be aware of that bunker. That's about 25 yards short of the green. If you finish up there, that's one of the hardest shots in golf, the long bunker shot. So you've got to carry that, even if you want to run the ball onto this green.
Here we go. Nice play right there. That's in pretty close. Settles in over the putt. He's made it. Just a superb performance on the front side. He's hoping to keep it going here on the back 9, Frank.
The game is so much easier when you're swinging well, putts are going in. Really, you've just got to keep out of your own way.
But this could be really good, Frank.
Oh, straight at it. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. Frank, it may be obvious you'd rather have a ball sitting up perfectly in these fairways as opposed to the deep rough off to the left or right. But how is a player able to take advantage when he has that good lie?
Well, anything better than that would be sitting on a tee. That is a perfect lie. It almost guarantees good contact.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been.
Well, Rich, 2 rounds in the books, and it's easy to see why the leaders are on top of that leaderboard.
Excellent performance, but still a long ways to go in this tournament. EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Boston Championship. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Navalo. We're at the TPC Boston in Massachusetts. Frank, this is a really good-looking golf course.
Fun golf course too, Rich. Starts off with a relatively soft par 4, not very long, and then, of course, the fourth hole. You remember that on TV. It's a drivable par 4. 5, really, this beautiful dogleg left par 4. I think it's one of the prettiest holes on the golf course. Reminds me of Sunningdale in England. 7's a par 5. 2 good hits, you might be able to get home. Don't talk about the ninth to Phil Mickelson. Never really likes that hole at all. He's made a mess of it over the years. Good finish there at 18, but really, if you want to look at maybe a tough stretch in the back nine, 13, 14, if you make a couple of pars through there, then you've done well. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here. Well, birdies are hard to come by in this situation. So tight.
Keeps him right in the thick of it. Frank, the 14th, a shortish 495-yard hole.
Only because it's downhill. If you can get that ball running down the fairway, then it certainly sets up a good second shot into this stout par 4. Ah, nice.
Looks good. Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. Second shot now, and this is from 140 yards away. Get down, look out.
It's over. The green.
Well, that one didn't work out. Didn't look bad in the air. It hit the green, but didn't sit.
Yeah, it was never going to stop.
Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. And he has it for birdie. Frank, after a couple of par 4s where you just sort of let it go with the driver, different strategy here at the 15th?
Yeah, you don't want to get carried away here. This is one where just a nice smooth swing, get that ball on the fairway. And that second shot, you've got to carry that false front.
Good contact, good result. Frank, I think what sets golf apart from other sports is that the fan can get so close to the great athlete as the round is being played.
Well, that's why the sport itself, and we consider it more intimate for that reason. You know, most golf spectators play the game. Whereas other sports, you don't see NFL players sitting in the grandstand. You see spectators. But most golf fans are golfers.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
Good putt. Frank, here at the 16th, you really see this sort of New England character, don't you?
Yeah, that stone wall now protects that sort of two-tiered green. And it sort of showcases the golf course. It just fits in beautifully with what Hans and Faxon have done to the golf course.
Just a beautiful approach shot. Good effort, just didn't drop. Nudge this one home, finish it up. So, hanging in down the stretch with a par. Frank, 412 yards on the card doesn't look like a whole lot, but
You can play a little longer, because really you've got to play it down the right. Don't play it as a dogleg. Just go point A and then point B.
into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Frank, this ball's in the rough. Anything you change in your technique when a ball's sitting down a little bit?
Yeah, you put the ball back a little bit further in your stance because you're going to get a bit of grass between the ball and the club face. So you have to allow for that. And keep that club moving. That grass is going to create a certain amount of resistance.
Frank, here we go again. Another shot from the rough.
Yeah, let's see if he learned his lesson.
Well, Frank, obviously way too much club there.
You got to think something like that, or at least misread the wind. This is never going to sit down.
He'll need to be strong with this. No way! He hold it, Frank.
Great pitch shot.
On to the 18th and a big par 5 to finish out the round.
Yeah, fun way. Let's see, course record 61. What can you do here?
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
It's nice to roll in a 25-footer now and then. Those feel good. But still, there's nothing like hitting that perfect tee ball. Long and straight.
Yeah, you can puff out your chest, last to play, the advantage, holes shorter. Basically, the list goes on.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Frank, that is how it's done.
Yeah, take a gross of those. That is a lesson in itself.
And now a chance for eagle. Frank, how about that eagle at this point in the tournament? Frank, that front page of the leaderboard has been looking good all week.
You're exactly right, Rich. I think our winner is certainly going to come from that list right now. I'm excited for tomorrow's final round.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Boston Championship. Well, this one has a chance to be really good. Excellent drive, Frank, right where you want to be. Second shot, good look at the green. Birdie try up next. This hole's been good to him. Birdie yesterday, and trying for another one today. Might be. Could be. Wow, I can't believe he found the cup on that one.
Clean up on aisle 5.
Frank, at the 14th down, anytime you get a par 4 that is almost 500 yards, it gets your attention.
It does play downhill, though, so you don't have to smash away here. It's better if you can get something moving a little right to left. Then it will take the natural slope. You get a little more yardage out of it that way. This has exploded off the club face. Got to be careful here. Downhill, he's got to time it good because your weight's a little bit more on your front foot.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. This hole really sets up well for the player. Birdie yesterday and a chance for another one today. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. There it is for eagle. Settled over the ball here at the 15th, 421 yards on this par 4.
Uphill, you can see everything that you have to avoid. Find the green grass in between.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Making it look easy at this point. Another beautiful approach shot. These putts keep the round together. Frank, we have said it over and over. Another birdie. Here we are at the 16th now, looking at just over 160 yards.
You can sense the fear, can't you?
Not looking good, Frank.
I think it's wet.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
Birdie putt coming up. A par on this hole yesterday. Continues to putt beautifully. Frank, the 17th here at TPC Boston underwent quite a radical change.
Yeah, that renovation and that redesign that they did, it changed the character of the hole, but they still kept that big mound in the middle of the green. So that second shot is still punishing if you misjudge it.
And players nursing a lead, they might want to think about playing it safe down the right side, but if you're trying to make up some ground, you could try to fly the church pews that divide the fairway into two sections, and that would give you a nice short wedge in.
Yeah, give you a short wedge in, but really the risk, is it worth it? Our computer gives us 23 feet, Rich.
And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Oh, he's going to love it. Great putt. Frank, the 18th here at TPC Boston, for whatever reason, generates quite a bit of buzz, doesn't it?
It does. The longer hitters, obviously, they lick their chops. They're having a chance to make this green in two. But if you find one of the fairway bunkers, the addition of that pot bunker for the layup, that just makes that decision that much more difficult.
Great strike and a great result. Sitting up, good chance to attack the flag. Playing his second shot here at the par 5. That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Couldn't have done much better than that. An eagle is very possible to win the Boston Championship. Oh my gosh, that hurts. Oh, man.
He just pushed it.
And that hurts. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Just a great putt and a great win. Frank, the 18th here at TPC Boston has generated a lot of buzz through the years, hasn't it?
It has, and those changes have just made this finishing hole so much better. The fact that they've narrowed up the front of the green, they've made that left side more severe. Now you can't bail out on the left. If you do, it's an awful little pitch or even a putt up the hill.
The addition of that pot bunker, Frank, how has that changed the hole?
Well, if you stray off the tee or find one of those bunkers with your tee shot, you really have to be aware of exactly the distance that little pot bunker is away. Because if you just sort of whack it out of the bunker and lay it up there, you find the next bunker, then you're in trouble.
This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. And we welcome you to one of the most popular golf courses on the PGA Tour. It is Quail Hollow. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Frank, it is just starting to heat up out on the golf course. Fans are streaming in, anticipating a highly contested event with the best golfers in the world.
One reason the fans love this course so much, Rich, the green mile. It's fine to have a good golf course, but it's got to have a great finish. It's got a great finish, then it becomes a great golf course. Quail Hollow has that great finish of 16, 17, and 18. That was nuclear.
Frank, second shot here at the par 5 7th. You having a go at this one?
Yes, but you still have to respect the water and the trouble around, so anything slightly left of that flag is fine.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Well, that was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. So the eagle goes begging. He still has this for birdie. But now a chance for a birdie. A birdie will send him to 1 under on the leaderboard. Frank, in modern professional golf, we're seeing more and more drivable par 4s, like the 8th here at Quail Hollow, 350 yards. What do you think of this hole?
It's not a bad hole. Drivable, some might say, but the angle of the green means it's hard for that tee shot to keep on the green. But I think the reward for hitting a driver is try and sort of aim at that tree just left of the green. And the reason why is then you've got to pitch up the direction of the green. This is a really narrow green.
And it makes the green in regulation. Frank going for 2 in a row now. Has it now sitting at 2 under par for the tournament. Here we are at the 9th hole at Quail Hollow, 495-yard par 4. Frank, it is the longest par 4 on the golf course. Is it, in your estimation, the toughest?
I think the green stops it from being the toughest, Rich, because it does kick in from either side. But when you see holes like this, there's no surprise why the Rory McIlroys and the Ricky Fowlers have won around here. This is just a great driving par 4.
Oh, come on, that's not even human. That's ridiculous. That is 350-plus yards. Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Another one inside of 5 feet. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Beautiful rhythmic swing right there and right down Peachtree. And from the fairway for his second shot here. This could be a good one. Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. And his third here at the par 5. Close. Couldn't ask for much more on that putt. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Good putt and a good move now to 4 under. That's the end of round 1, and we saw a lot of good golf out there today, Frank.
And it was a bonus to anyone that got off to a good start today.
Coverage coming your way is presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo, set to call all the action here at the Wells Fargo Championship. We are at Quail Hollow, and Frank, it is really one of the best courses on tour.
It is a great state of North Carolina, where Donald Ross developed so many great courses. They're the sort of courses that we're used to seeing. But this is a relatively new golf course. First opened up in 1961, but it certainly fits in with the North Carolina landscape. Mature trees, holes well cut out, beautiful greens, and interesting finish.
How do you like that finishing stretch? They call it the Green Mile.
Some might think it's purgatory, but I think it's the perfect touch to a great golf course.
Early part of this second nine, and a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Oh, I thought he had that.
Just a fraction too aggressive. Remember, line and speed go together.
Sometimes you want that birdie so badly, and all of a sudden you're faced with a lot of work, more work than you had hoped for, just to make the par. Here we are at the par 3, 13th hole. It's 210 yards. What does it take here, Frank?
It's one, actually, where you'd rather be conservative than aggressive here. And the reason why is this green tends to roll off at the back and the front and the middle there. So it's just something that pitches more in the central part of the green is really what's required.
Beautiful approach shot there, and a good chance to take advantage. 10-foot putt left. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect. But it's going to hurt the course.
That is a solid par putt. Wow, Frank, this is a really good little par 4, isn't it, the 14th?
It is, and this is where one of those strong three-woods comes in. The last 50 or 60 yards, is the ball kicks down and towards the left, and it sounds like an aggressive play, but like a hard three-wood trying to run it down there is actually not a bad play.
Is it drivable?
It is drivable, but it's whether it's worth the risk.
This requires a lot of speed through the ball. Can't hide the flagstick from that man. A makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par. And with that birdie, moves to 3rd place. Now at the par 5, 15th hole, 577 yards. Frank, you remember what Rory McIlroy did here in 2010? That final round, 62?
I certainly do, Rich. That was an amazing run on the second 9. And holes like this, too. He just stood up here with a driver and just obliterated it down there with a nice draw. Took those bunkers out of play and just set up a mid-iron.
Up with the big boys now, Frank.
Well, we saw that previous tee shot go 310. This one's further.
That was just a gutsy shot right there, and a good look at Eagle coming up.
This is an awkward length.
Well, maybe lifted right there, just sort of peaked. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. So 1 shot closer to the lead with that birdie. 2 rounds in the books, Frank, and a good spot from which to make a move.
Yeah, well positioned. Really, if you're leading, it's a different pressure. Being in the chaser pack there, playing well, what a great position to go into with 2 rounds to go.
presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Welcome to the home of the Wells Fargo Championship, where the likes of Rory McIlroy, Ricky Fowler, and long-hitting J.B. Holmes have all won. It was first opened for play in 1961. It has really grown through the years, and it is now played by the best in the world. Rich Loader alongside Frank Novello for EA Sports. Let's jump down to the golf course.
Rich, that tee shot there has shortened up this hole considerably. It's made a tough par 4 into, well, we'll see, but it looks like a very birdieable hole now.
You hit it right where you want. Now he has a good chance to attack that hole location. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Putting up some impressive numbers out here now, 9 under for the tournament. Frank, a nice mix of opening holes here at Quail Hollow and the Wells Fargo Championship. Pretty short par 3 here at the second.
180-yard shot will play more like 175 for the half a club downhill. There's much more green on that right side. If you're not too sure what club to hit, then you should stay away from that left side.
All right, so green side bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
Frank, amazing how this hole has gotten away.
Yeah, he's not Robinson Crusoe. Happened to everybody that's played this game. With time running out, Rich, that's what's going to make that bogey sting even more.
Can't afford to give him away at this point in the championship. This is a strong par 4, 452 yards, the third hole. It's a good challenge, Frank.
It is. Big sweeping dogleg left. Actually on a straight line. It's 315, 320 yards to run out. So if you hit the ball further than that, it's going to have to draw. Otherwise you'll be hitting the rough on the other side. Still a lengthy shot under there on a green that actually has 3 different levels.
Long drive, but a bad lie.
Wicked.
Frank, it's not about getting the ball close to the hole from that spot.
Well, he had no chance to get it close. I thought he had very, very, very little chance of getting it on the green. So given that, that was a very good shot.
Oh, dude, that. Now to the fourth hole here at Quail Hollow, just under 490 yards.
Yeah, they used to have the tee on the right side, would actually make that tee shot very uncomfortable. When they put the new tee box in on the left side, it's a little easier to hit that fairway because that fairway slopes from right to left.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Didn't quite have the break on that medium-length putt right there. Locked in on the read and the speed. Frank, a solid par right there, maintains his position. Frank, in today's modern game where players are hitting it so far, I always feel like one of the more exciting holes is a reachable par 5, and here we are at the 5th, 570 yards.
Yeah, this is reachable providing you hit a good drive. Otherwise, it becomes very awkward on the layup. Sort of often threading the ball out of trees and just trying to find some sort of third shot. So to your point, big advantage with a good tee shot here. That's a ginormous tee shot.
Frank, what are we looking at here on the second shot at the 5th hole?
Well, big par 5. You're going to have the ball slightly below your feet, Rich. What you're looking at is that left-hand front bunker. If you can carry that, and keep it on the green. That's two very good shots into this par 5.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. How about that shot? From that lie to get it that close, tremendous effort. Shouldn't be a problem here. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
So just a formality here. That is a solid par putt. Wow, Frank, this is all you want, a par 3. 250 yards here at the 6th.
Hey, that's what these guys need, especially in a PGA championship. Fortunately, the hole plays a little bit downhill, but 250, whichever way you cut it, is a big par 3.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Eyeing this putt for a birdie. Really starting to shine, moves to 10 under for the tournament. So through 54 holes, a really good position inside the top 5 with 1 round to go.
Yeah, and those handful of players that we're looking at, Rich, they certainly have looked the best players this week, which makes tomorrow look like a real thriller.
This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Thanks for joining us here today in Charlotte, North Carolina for the final round of the Wells Fargo Championship. Frank, what do we have out here today?
Well, if history has a chance of repeating itself, remember those great closing rounds by Rory McIlroy? That 62, that was one of the best rounds ever shot that year back in 2010. And, of course, that playoff, too. Ricky Fowler back in 2012. We actually beat out then world number 1 Rory McIlroy with that stunning drive down the finishing hole and brilliant wedge to a tight flag. This golf course, it can give it, it can take it away. But for us, from where we're sitting, Rich, we'll enjoy the view today.
No doubt about it. Didn't hit it in there tight, but still with a good chance.
Yeah, if that's his worst shot at the end of the day, then I still think he's played well.
makes the green in regulation. Look out, Frankie. We got a good one down the stretch.
Just one shot in between the two at the top.
Great lie, and what a great shot. He has really hit it a long way. Frank, what's your thinking here on this approach shot at the 11th?
Rich, this is another one. You have to favor the high side, which is the right side of this par 4. And if the flag's in the back corner, just be careful because everything slopes away from off the back left of the green.
That will be a great look at birdie. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. Little extra pep in the step right now with that birdie leading the tournament.
It might be temporary, but another one of those, and it just might be permanent. Well, par 4s, they're not all the same, Rich, but after that tee shot, I guess you can say this one's going to be easy.
That was a beauty right there.
This looks like it's going to find the target.
And as he strides up here to the 12th green, having hit it in regulation, he knows now that his work is by no means done. A long putt coming up. Looks like he just misread that. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Just misses. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Just a couple of feet. So not his best work. He'll walk away with a bogey. Here we are at the par 3, 13th hole. It's 210 yards. What does it take here, Frank?
It's one actually where you'd rather be conservative than aggressive here. And the reason why is this green tends to roll off at the back and the front and the middle there. So it's just something that pitches more in the central part of the green is really what's required.
Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. Very nicely done, right on the dance floor. That's a par, but that is also second place.
That's right. Birdies are being made elsewhere. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it.
Lucky devil. That was going in the bunker all the way.
This is a pretty long putt here. We'd be happy to get this to within 2 or 3 feet. You really want to take the stress out of that next putt. Well, Frank, it's our job to get excited.
You can't when you leave it short, though.
I'm sad.
He's making my job hard.
How did that stay out, Frank?
Did everything but go in.
Just a little tap in here. Did the job right there. We're now teed up at the 15th hole. It is the final par 5 here at Quail Hollow, 577 yards. And Frank, I remember this hole well. McIlroy stiffed a 5-iron on his way to making eagle, his first PGA Tour win. That came back in 2010.
And the opportunity exists again here. Under 600 yards, plays downhill off the tee. Those two bunkers on the right are perfectly situated. That second one about 310 yards to it. So something straight at that one with a little draw will set up that mid-iron or long iron that has to be hit very high and uphill.
I'm reminded of what an old caddy used to say about the great Lanny Watkins when he was on fire. You can't hide the flagstick from that man. Frank, there's an old basketball announcer who used to say when a ball went in and out of the cylinder, just the way that one did, he would say, ringtail howitzer. And that one just didn't go in. In the hole, and a birdie. This is the start of what some say is the toughest finishing stretch on the PGA Tour. It's known as the Green Mile. Frank, what makes it so challenging?
Well, this hole in particular, Rich, the dogleg right, it means it plays every inch of it's just over 500 yards. That bunker you can see down the right, 325 yards to carry that. If you can fly the ball that far, at least you can chew off 2/3 of this hole, and that is well required here. Otherwise, it's a long, long second shot.
See if he can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. He really likes this hole. Made birdie yesterday. Can he do it again today? Oh, you hate to miss from that distance. This one just requires a little bit of focus. So, hanging in down the stretch with a par. Frank, the 17th here at Quail Hollow. It is all you want.
And a bit more, actually. The only advantage the player has is it plays a little bit downhill. But when you look at the lake in front of you, if there's any swirling breeze out there, it just becomes a nightmare trying to choose the right club.
Just a beautiful approach shot. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either.
Well read.
Now to the finishing hole here at Quail Hollow. Frank, what can we expect?
If there was a name for this hole, Rich, it should be called Narrows. The creek that meanders its way down the left side and actually divides that hole into really half the size of what a normal par 4 should be. That makes it hard. The bunker on the right is your bailout area, just over 290 yards to get past that. And then the narrowest green that still sits up against the lake. This is just a brutal finish.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Oh, just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
This is to win the Wells Fargo Championship. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, year in, year out, the Wells Fargo Championship is one of the best on the PGA Tour. This year, it didn't disappoint.
No, it didn't. For a number of reasons, really. The quality of the field, Rich, but more importantly, from my point of view, the quality of the golf. Quail Hollow extracts the best out of a player. It demands it. And we saw that today.
For my partner, Frank Nobilo, and all of us here at EA Sports, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long. Until next time.